The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has now turned its guns on law firms that are becoming conduits for corruption. Speaking at the EACC and United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime workshop in Mombasa, the Commission's Director of Investigation, Pascal Mweu, says corrupt individuals have now turned to law firms to hide their trails in perpetuating corruption. Mweu said EACC is also grappling with proxies being used in the corrupt network, where those siphoning public funds are using associated for the illicit acts. Now, Yusuf Farah is among those attending the workshop and has more details. Yusuf, kindly bring us to speed.
Indeed, Jackie Owambiru, a very good afternoon to you. We are coming to you live from County 001, Mombasa, where today is day 2 of the EACC, that is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and UNODC, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime workshop for crime and governance journalists, basically tackling matters corruption and what the fourth estate can do in its own capacity, of course, in partnership with institutions such as the EACC in fighting the war on corruption. This is it started on Tuesday, and of course it will go all the way until tomorrow, where we will come up with resolutions and basically everyone to have his or her part, individual responsibility on what they can do to fight the war on corruption. But right about now, Jackie, let me bring in the Director of Investigations at the EACC, Mr. Jackson Mue, to just talk to us about the ethics and anti-corruption bit on the war against corruption. Good afternoon, sir. Many thanks for speaking to us. Let us talk about the issue that was raised today, the issue of impersonators, people who come out and try to pretend to be EACC officers, and what does EACC do to deal with such people?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name, as you have been told, is Jackson Mue. I am the Director in charge of Field Services and Coordination at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Since yesterday, we have been having a workshop which EACC is collaborating with the UNODC office and the journalists who handle crime and governance. The reason why we have this kind of partnership is to ensure that we create the necessary capacity, because the approach EACC has taken, it has identified partnerships as one of its strategic areas of focus. The reason being the fact that EACC has come to the conclusion that the fight against corruption will require all the relevant stakeholders to be properly capacitated to be able to effectively do their work. The journalists who are over 70, who are with us here in Mombasa, are the journalists who provide members of the public on reports related to issues of governance, corruption, and unethical conduct. The EACC, together with UNODC, found it extremely important to make sure that the necessary capacity is created for these journalists so that they understand this area, so that when they are informing members of the public, then they are able to bring out the relevant information, the correct information, which help members of the public make the right decisions in the various choices they make in the course of their public life. In the process of executing the EACC mandate, well, it comes with the challenges, and these challenges are not insurmountable. They come and they are dealt from time to time. One of the challenges which you have asked is about issues of impersonation. EACC over time has come across persons, members of the public, who impersonate staff of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. In most cases, they impersonate investigators. They write letters, of course fake letters, to members of the public, alleging that those members of the public are under investigation by EACC. The objective of doing this is to demand for bribes. And therefore, what we want to do is to take this opportunity to inform members of the public that whenever they receive any correspondence or any telephone calls from any person who is alleging to be an officer of EACC, they must know EACC communicates to persons of interest through official letters. And it is important for members of the public, whenever you receive such a call, then you can verify with the office. We do not record statements of suspects in hotels, in open fields, and in individual offices, in individual houses. Every other time when a person of interest to EACC is required to provide information on a matter of interest, they will always be invited to any of the EACC offices. Our headquarters is in Nairobi Integrity Center, and we have 11 regional offices spread across the country. Those are the offices where we carry out our investigations, and you can call anytime to verify whether you have been invited for any interview. Do not give any person who is alleging to be a staff of EACC any money, because staff of EACC do not take money from members of the public for purposes of engaging in an ethical conduct in the process of investigation. So our advice is that always verify. EACC, whenever you are required to provide information, there is no urgency. You will always be given time to provide that information. And therefore, whenever you see somebody who is in a hurry, just know that is not an investigator from EACC. They are writing letters. Those letters will carry forgeries, including semblance of what will look like the EACC logo. Sometimes they even know some of the names of senior officials, and therefore you may find those forgeries carrying names of some of the officers. But the true identity of our letters can always be verified.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to see you, and we hope to continue with these conversations. And Wambiru, speaking of partnerships, just allow me to bring in Ms. Jennifer Githu from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, just to talk about such partnerships. Good afternoon. Are we seeing more such partnerships going forward?
Yes, from the development sector, yes, we are coming together, especially from the UNODC perspective, through the Program for Legal Empowerment and Aid Delivery, which is a 3.4 million euro EU-funded project that seeks to support Kenya, specifically the criminal justice system actors, to enhance the rule of law, accountability, and access to justice. We support the criminal justice chain, that's from investigation all the way to the prisons, and one of the key partners is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, because one of our major thematic focus is to enhance the fight against corruption. So we're supporting the Commission in activities such as the one we have here today, creating public awareness, offering specialized training, digitalization, as well as joint activities with other investigative and prosecutorial authorities as well. We foresee this partnership will continue for the next 5 years. That's the duration of the project, and we'll continue to work very closely with the Commission to support them in this mandate.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. And so there you have it, Jackie Wambiru. The partnership will be going forward possibly for the next 5 years, and of course the journalists have been called upon to exercise integrity even as they do carry out their duties of reporting on the graft matters. Of course, we'll have this story filed for you in our subsequent bulletins, but now let me take it back to the broadcasting house with you, Jackie Wambiru.